Hey guys, my name is Mel and I'm a full-time eBay seller here in Australia. Now, a couple of days ago, I took you on a tour of my storage sheds and I showed you that I was moving from being primarily a clothing seller to a book seller. So now I'm going to show you some behind the scene photos going right back from April onwards to show you as I was buying all these books and to show you exactly how my house ended up ruined. If you're new to my channel and you're interested in learning more about how to sell on eBay and working from home and making money online, then make sure you hit the subscribe button down below. So this photo was taken back in April and this was all the listed books that I had at the time. It just used to be some extra bread and butter that I added into my clothing sales. I started to pick up some small hauls just from Facebook and Gumtree. This was basically all the death pile I had at home. It was all in my lounge area in my office and it was well and truly manageable. In May, I picked up my first large haul of about 150 books and I was so excited with it that I even made a video to share it. More small book hauls kept on coming and my office started to fill up. The table was stacked high and there was tubs underneath now with books. In the corner, I started to get more and more books piling up, and down my entryway hallway, they were lined against the wall. The hauls just kept on coming, so I started buying some shelving units for in my office area. The books were all over the floor, they were starting to scatter so it was hard to walk, and I needed to get them off the floor. I needed to add more shelves into the garage for the listed stock, so to do that I had to start condensing some of the clothing tubs to make room for more shelves. With more and more hauls, my office area started to get full and it was starting to look like a real eyesore when you walk into the front of my house. I decided some cube shelves would make not only a good divider for the room, but it would also mean that I could alphabetically put all my unlisted stock into each cube. The books were now off the floor, but my carloads were starting to get larger. The books were piling up on the floor near the bookcase faster than I could list them. The new garage shelves were already full and I needed more. I couldn't keep up with the books. They were coming in thick and fast and my floor and the bookcase were full constantly. I was starting to contemplate needing a storage unit. I just couldn't live with all these books. They were constantly in my space and I never felt relaxed. The hauls were getting larger and they were starting to fill my car. Not only was the back seat full, but now the boot was getting full as well. The listed books were starting to take over the garage and I needed more and more shelves and I was constantly condensing clothing bins and finding new homes to put the tubs. I took every opportunity I could to be buying the large hauls of books. I couldn't seem to say no to them. Now in September, an opportunity arose for me to buy a large haul of books. There was about 4,000 books in this haul and although I knew that I didn't have any more room left at home, I just couldn't say no to it. The books were costing me about 10 cents a book. So we hired a truck and the whole family came over and helped me move this large haul of books back home. But we had nowhere to put it at home. The books were put into our kitchen and living area, which was not ideal at all, but I promised the family that I would try and have them all done within a few weeks. Now, despite just buying that massive haul, I was still getting more and more books off Facebook and Gumtree. They were coming in fast and a lot of the books were even coming in free. I had been working my way through the haul in the living area, but more and more tubs of books just kept getting added to it. I was picking up books left, right and centre, but I was also absolutely busting my balls getting these books listed. I was listing and working long, hard hours. The family had well and truly had enough of it by now. Everybody was sick of the books in the doorway, in the hallway. Everywhere you looked or stepped, there was books and more books just kept coming in and filling up our living area. The garage was also full. You couldn't even see the floor in there. I was trying to work my way through these books and sort them, but it was just near impossible. More and more hauls still kept coming in. I was picking them up from the side of the road. People were just flying them at me. Enough was enough, and I was so overdue for getting that storage unit. It couldn't come fast enough by the time I did. So quickly we moved these stock into the storage units with the help of my family. Looking back on it all now, I just can't believe it. I should have been on one of those TV shows called Hoarders. Seriously, who even was I now? The listed stock was now all over in the storage units, so I was starting to move all the death pile from my office and start moving that into the garage. I don't mind if the death pile is in the garage where I can shut the door and don't see it, but I had to get it all in and out of my living areas. Gosh, I could barely even get into my washing machine to do the washing. I was sorting through boxes so fast I was just throwing them all outside so I could take them in one big tip load. Another large haul arrived with about 500 books this time. My poor little car just wasn't managing with all these hauls, so I sent my husband out to pick up a truck and off he went and picked up the 500 books for me. By this stage I had a virtual assistant who was helping me list the books as fast as possible. Another large haul came my way, but thankfully this time I had the storage units and I was able to take the haul straight over to the units. What an absolutely crazy year. Thank God for my storage units. I will never forget 2020 and everything I learned. I've got no words, guys. So, as you can see, doing books is not for the faint-hearted. It is so much work. Now, if you want to do books on a small scale and you just want to implement them as some bread and butter into your regular eBay business, whatever you're selling, then that's great. I was doing that fine beforehand and was managing several hundred books and, I didn't have any trouble. It wasn't really till I just started picking up the haul after haul, and it was like I was a magnet. Like as soon as I put it out there to the universe that I wanted to pick up these book hauls, it was like I couldn't keep up with them. Every single book haul that I came across on Facebook or Gumtree, they were just coming to me, and it was just crazy. I just couldn't keep up. As soon as we'd move some out of the lounge room, there was just more and more just kept coming. If you missed my video a couple of days ago that showed the inside of my storage units with all my listed books, plus the inside of my garage here with all my unlisted books, then I'll pop the link here now for you and you can click on that and make sure you go and give it a watch.